22. Bill Evans' 251 line in all 12 keys. You can visit the link in the description below to download a free PDF copy of this lesson so you can follow along. In this week's lesson, we'll be looking at an excerpt of a transcription I did of Bill Evans, more like an adaptation of a transcription I did of Bill Evans, and we're going to be putting it through all 12 keys. It's an interesting line, a fairly simple line for Bill, but I think it gives us a good introduction to the way he approaches harmony on a vertical level, meaning a chordal level, instead of a scalular level. So the first thing that I'd like to do is go back and review how to approach learning a line in all 12 keys and getting our inner melody going, meaning that we're hearing the line accurately in our head while we're playing it. If you feel like you don't need this review, please feel free to skip ahead to the analysis portion of this video. Okay, so I've got a couple easy steps that I like to use in my own practice routine and with my students to help them start hearing melodies, transcriptions, whatever sorts of things they're trying to play in all 12 keys, and make sure that they're hearing them accurately in their head while they're playing them. So the first step actually has nothing to do with singing or having the inner melody going at all. It actually just has to do with the technical aspect of playing the line. And that is learning your fingering for each of the melodies in all 12 keys. So our first key would be the key of C major. I would make sure that I have no problems with any of the fingerings. I feel pretty comfortable with that because I've already worked it out. And what you'll find is that if you go through and work out all the fingerings beforehand, you'll find that you'll need to work out these fingerings less and less because you become more comfortable with things that have been awkward before. So anyway, that's a fairly simple process, but a very necessary one. And one thing you'll also find out is that when you write out a fingering for one key, it usually is going to apply to one other key or maybe 4 or 5 other keys because many of the shapes are very similar in the lines. Okay, so that's a simple first step. The next step we're going to use is going to have us start singing. And the first thing that we'll want to do is play the line while singing it at the same time and concentrate on singing accurately and as perfectly as possible in tune with the notes that we're playing. So we'll give ourselves a starting pitch, and make sure that we're accurately in tune with that pitch, and then we're going to play through the line at sort of a rubato tempo. Okay, that felt pretty good. Let's go on to the next key, in the key of F. Give ourselves a starting pitch. Da. That's actually kind of high on the piano for me, so I'm going to move it down a little bit. Da, da, and if you're feeling exceptionally confident in your singing skills, you want to try to sing the melody in the actual correct rhythmic phrasing, so not in a rubato style. Let's try that in the key of C. We'll still keep it at sort of a slow tempo. So I feel like that was a little less accurate, but it also helped us kind of get into the rhythm of the line. Okay, so do that in all 12 keys, and that's our next step. And then we're going to go on and we're going to sing the line while ghosting the melody in our right hand. And we talked about this in our last melody. Ghosting is simply pressing down the note without making a sound. And by singing and ghosting the melody in our right hand, we're establishing a really strong connection between the physical motion of playing the note and the internal idea of actually hearing the melody in our head while we're playing. Okay, so we'll give ourselves a starting pitch again. Da 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 da. Okay, and you can continue that through all 12 keys. And that step might be a little difficult for you at first, but if it's something you continue to do every day, it'll be get simpler and simpler. Okay, and then the final step, probably the most challenging step, is to sing without doing anything in your right hand. And one thing I like to do at first is to play simple voicings so that I can hear when I'm singing against the actual harmony of the line that we're learning. So we'll give ourselves a starting pitch again. And this time we're not going to ghost with our right hand. Da 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 da. I felt pretty good. In the key of F. We'll take it down a little lower so I can actually sing it. You could tell in that I was actually singing some of the notes a little off key when they got up a little high. So let's just go back and review really quickly while playing the melody to make sure that I've still got those pitches going perfectly internally in my head. Now without playing. That's a little better. It's probably something that I would work on a little more before I felt like I could move on to the next step. Okay, so once you've done all those 4 steps, just review. We learn our fingering, then we play the melody and sing it at the same time. Then we ghost the melody in our right hand while singing, and then we sing the melody without ghosting it with left hand voicings. And you can also use the left hand voicings, in the other steps too. It really doesn't matter. And if you can even complete just 1 or 2 of these steps perfectly, you've come a long ways in your practicing to get a better inner melody of whatever you're trying to learn. So now that we've completed our analysis of the melody, it's time to perform it in all 12 keys. I'll be using some simple left hand 2-part shell voicings to accompany what we've learned in our right hand. I'll just be improvising those along with the melody. I'll actually write them out for the PDF file, but you should know they probably won't be exactly the same as what I play here. And if you can, I'd encourage you to try to improvise your own voicings as best you can. And if that's not something you feel particularly comfortable with, go back and watch my tutorials on 2-part voicings, and I think it's something that you can really begin to easily start integrating into your own playing. So normally I would play this melody with the metronome, but I can't seem to find mine today, so we're going to have to do without. We'll start off in the key of C and work our way around the circle of fourths. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If it's something you might be interested in the future, please know that I do upload new videos every single week. So subscribe if you want to see those in your inbox. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to send them to me. I love hearing from the people who watch my videos and love hearing about what you'd like to see next. So thanks for watching.